So when your dermatologist says that may have to come off, you do pay attention, don't you? Well, you may be paying attention to the people at Southwest Skin. That's on Tatum Boulevard in Phoenix. And you know that because that's where you go to work every day as a dermatologist, Dr. Jacqueline Watchmaker. And I'm very familiar with those folks because they've told me that that has to come off on a number of occasions. So I'm delighted to see one of those folks down here in my office where I live.
Thank you for having me.
Is there any such thing as a safe tan?
No. When you get a tan and even a little bronze color to your skin, I tell patients that's kind of like your skin cells screaming that they need help. And actually, the cells turn darker to help protect the DNA and shield it from the sun. So no such thing as a safe tan.
And in a town like this, in a state like this, with more pools than virtually any other place per capita, you have just now destroyed several industries. You know that.
Yes.
And people love to bask, though.
Yeah.
What about those tanning machines?
Also not great. I think they should be outlawed.
Okay, well, you just destroyed another industry.
I know.
What about, though, the safe use of sunblock if you happen to be working outside the garden or something?
Yeah, I'm very realistic. You know, we live in Arizona. I like going, you know, outside into the pool too. People are going to be spending time outdoors, and there is a safe way to do it. You know, wearing sunscreen, if you're truly going to be outside in SPF 50 or above, and reapplying it every 2 hours is essential. And you can go to the pool, but make sure, you know, you're sitting under an umbrella in some shade with sunscreen on. Also, if you're going to be hiking outdoors, you know, I love utilizing some protective clothing like t-shirts in addition to sunscreen.
What parts do we forget to put sunblock on?
The ears is the most common one I see. Also men's scalps, especially if they're lacking some hair. And the backs of the hands. I would say those are the most common areas people forget to routinely apply. Okay,
and we're not just talking now about the results of sunburn and so on. We're talking also about very serious considerations like skin cancer. And believe me when I tell you, as a light-skinned Irish guy, I know what it is to go in and have that diagnosis.
Yeah.
So how is it that we can perhaps detect it at home?
So there's a few different types of skin cancer, but usually I tell patients if something is new, changing, growing, symptomatic, so bleeding or painful to the touch, that's a reason to go see a dermatologist and get checked out.
What kinds are there?
The most common ones I see are basal cell skin cancer, and that often presents as like a pimple that just doesn't heal and doesn't go away. Squamous cell cancer, which can present similarly, but can also be kind of crusty and hard. And then melanoma is a more rare kind, but also a more serious kind.
That is potentially deadly, isn't it?
It can be deadly. It can kind of spread to other organs, and that usually presents as kind of a dark mole that slowly changes over time.
I know that you as a dermatologist think that it's a good idea to make regular visits to your dermatology clinic, right? How regular in order to prevent my missing a potential cancer spot?
That's a great question. The guidelines tell us if you have, you know, significant sun exposure history or a previous history of a skin cancer, you should go at least once a year. For a lot of people in Arizona, though, given we spend so much time outdoors, it's not a bad idea to at least go in once and get checked and then follow the recommendations of the dermatologist about, you know, routine follow-up.
Is surgery the only treatment, though, for any of those kinds of cancers?
Not always. Sometimes, especially if they are caught early, very superficial skin cancers can be treated either with liquid nitrogen, which is this cold spray. Sometimes we even give some creams to help, or sometimes something called like electrodesiccation and curettage, where we kind of just lightly scrape off the cancer. So you don't always need to be cut with stitches.
You're a native Wisconsin person, right? A Badger?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you about back home, Midwest, East Coast, where the sun is not as radiant or as powerful as it is here. Do people still have to be concerned?
Yes, and I think people there, because they're cooped up all winter long, when the summer months do come, they go outside and bake even more sometimes than people in Arizona. No matter where you live, it's a good idea to wear sunscreen every day.
Tell everybody where to find Dr. Watchmaker and all the rest of the folks at Southwest Skin, even if they just have a question to ask.
Yes, you can Google us, Southwest Skin. We're a part of U.S. Dermatology Partners now, and we have 4 different locations, one in the Biltmore area, Tatum, and then some in Scottsdale as well.
And if you do drop in, you may just see a short, light-skinned Irishman waiting for his appointment. That'll be me.